We asked a group of creators what they do to finance their creative lifestyle.
Here's what they had to say.
I'm Tom Burton and I work in the mailroom for a bank to pay my bills.
Hello, my name is Asheen and I do freelance photography to pay my bills.
Hey, I'm Conk and I work an office job mostly from home to pay my bills.
I'm Lexi and I work in the bar at a theatre to pay my bills.
My name is Ethan and I work as a lifeguard to pay my bills.
My name's Caleb and I make music to pay my bills.
Hi, I'm Nicola and I do logistics admin to pay the bills.
I'm Elliot and I sell overpriced wine to pay my bills.
I'm Darcy Broom and I freelance video edit to pay my bills.
Hi, I'm Selena Brinker and I throw axes to pay my bills.
I'm Alex and to pay the bills I do corporate videography and editing.
I'm Kelsey Parsons and I style wigs for theatre productions to pay my bills.
I'm Jack Scanlon and I make theatre in an acting school to pay my bills.
I'm Luca Gracie and I do arts and crafts for children to pay my bills.
My name is Steph and I work with the Starlight Children's Foundation as a Captain Starlight to pay my bills.
I'm Max and I work in the front desk of a theatre to pay the bills.
Hey, my name's Dylan J and I play weddings and corporate gigs to pay my bills.
This is our friend Dylan J, a talented musician with millions of streams to his name and has toured across Australia with the likes of Rule and NF. Dylan has been a musician for 12 years and we got to sit with him to find out how he's made that career possible physically, mentally and financially.
Dylan, what was your first paid gig as a creative?
My first paid gig in music was playing a local council gig called Freezer Events.
They still run those.
They still run those.
Yeah.
I remember those.
Yeah, I was so pumped. I think it was like $200.
Yeah.
For a full 1 hour performance with a whole band and the whole thing.
That's
and
more than I'm getting paid now.
That's pretty good. Okay. $200 for the hour.
I was so pumped about it. I was like, I can make money off this. It's crazy.
How old were you at the time?
22.
22.
I think, maybe 21. Can't remember.
Was that roughly when you started as well?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because you were just straight rapping.
It was pretty much, I just grew up rapping and playing guitar.
Yeah.
And so I just used to rap to playing guitar. And then I realized I liked pop music and I tried to sing. Good on me for attempting. And then over the years I kept doing it. And then I kind of got known as like the rap singer guy.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, he's like a more musical version of rap. Like he's not just bars. It was like, oh, I can play an instrument and he can sing a bit and sing his own choruses. That was kind of my thing.
Yeah.
And then it just moved into I started singing way more.
And I saw you singing and rapping for the first time, as we've discussed, at Groove in the Moo. It was one of my first festivals I'd ever been to. You packed out a full tent. It was raining, so people flocked.
That was why.
I don't think it was that. I got in there, you were playing, you got a friend in me, rocked my world, and I was in there for the rest of the set. What were you doing at the time to finance a show like that? Because now, being on the other side and knowing what those big shows cost to do, what were you doing to finance that?
When you play those, you're getting a good fee. As in major festivals are paying you. It's pretty crazy. I reckon that is majority of the money as a touring Australian artist is in festivals. Because they're the only kind of events left that have actual budget. Yeah. So that was covering that and paying me, all right. Even though I was I think I was the second act on the day, which means people still getting in the gate.
Yeah.
Or some people aren't coming to the festival for another 5 hours and you played 5 hours earlier. Yeah. So it was kind of a little bit like that. And yes, people came in because I was in the undercover area. It started raining right before my set. Everyone ran in and then I just pretended they were there for me. It was great.
It was electric.
And let the ego just keep you going.
That naivety. Yeah, I was fine. Yeah.
I'm wondering, because you have that perception when you're on stage and you have the gooey-eyed Mikey's looking at it like that. I'm wondering what the behind the scenes of that is. Was there a conflict of, I want to follow music, but it's really hard to make any money? What kind of got you to keep leaping, or what was your situation behind that?
Such a good question. I always had side jobs. Back then, earlier days, I was lifeguarding full time, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my job. At the pool and at the beach a little bit, but that was mostly voluntary. Yeah. But that was my job, and I was doing that and then trying to play shows on the side and building my brand and my career and my song list and doing all that sort of stuff. So I was always doing a few things. And then music got busier. I started going on tour with other acts around Australia, and I just couldn't work. So then it's I need to be making money off this. So, your fee goes up a little bit, but it is tough. Especially in Australia, it's so expensive to tour.
Yeah.
So expensive to tour. And there's less money in the Australian industry than there is in other countries in the world. So it's pretty hard. I would say majority of musicians would have a full-time or a part-time job.
Gotcha.
Which is pretty crazy. There was a statistic that came out. We should find it because I'm not going to quote it, but it was something around the 5% mark of like only 5% of Australian artists rely on music as their income.
Wow.
Which is like wild. I don't know. We'll have to check it.
I know it's a lot of merch, isn't it?
I mean, merch helps so much. Yeah. Like back when I did my first ever headline Australian tour, I was selling out rooms. Not selling out rooms. I was selling like 50 tickets to a Brisbane show that had a capacity of 250.
Yeah.
You know, like very empty.
Yeah.
But merch kept me in the green.
Gotcha.
So like everyone would buy a t-shirt and a hat and a pair of socks or whatever it was that I had, right? And that would make the tour financially viable for me. And then the next time around I did another tour, and that was like 3 months later, and the stats went up. I sold out that venue, 250 people in Brisbane, which is crazy. Only 3 months later, but it was because of Triple J support. Sold merch, and that just like actually was my first set of savings.
Yeah.
Like I was in the green that I could put it aside and be like, oh my God, I made $4,000.
So even on tour doing a thing, it was like, I'm still just this is still kind of my paycheck to paycheck until the Triple J gave you a bit of a leg up.
Kind of, yeah.
Like this is when you said to me that you had to quit a job to go on tour. That's a scary thought for me because I think about that all the time. If someone were to want to take me on tour now, I get scared of quitting my trivia job because then I can't come back to that. If I go on the tour once, I know I'm not going to make enough for the rest of the year. Then what? What if I don't go on tour again?
Totally.
That would have been a really scary leap for you.
Yeah, and you got to hope that they're going to bring you back on when you're back. Right. And that's the other thing is like you have seasons. You tour for like a month or 2 or 3 months, and then you're back for 6 or 9, and you need a job again. You know, COVID happened, and it's like I just became a temporary tradie. Started working for people in trade. I was like, okay, well, can't play shows, can't.
Yeah.
I can relate to that. I was working at a bike store. I don't ride bikes.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Do you have regular avenues you look in if you're like, oh shit, I need work now? Like what's your kind of go-tos to go? Because I think we want to speak to a lot of people who work 9 to 5s, can't really find time to do anything else, but want to break out and follow some sort of passion.
That's such a good question. What's worked for me is I think if you do the thing you love a lot enough, you do get good at it. And you have this skill set that's very specific to something. I think we very much have an idea of like what we want that to look like. I want to sell out stadiums, play one show in a night and make 1.5 million. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Great, good for you. But your skill set is you're good at entertaining people, you're good at singing, you're good at playing songs, writing songs, whatever. There's probably other avenues you could use the same skill set to make money. And I think that's what I realized is I'm good at playing songs, I'm good at singing, I'm good at performing for people and catering to what they're after. So around COVID, I actually was like, I need to like extend myself a little bit. And I signed up to an agency to do like weddings and corporate gigs. And I'm doing the same thing. It's the same skill.
Yeah.
But I now have this like more regular wage and I love doing it. Like I play for beautiful people for like a very special day for them. It's like an honor. It's like really, and it's an amazing environment to work in.
Yeah.
Everyone's so happy, dressed up, everyone looks good, they're having a good time. It's like, there's no pressure for me to be amazing. Like I just get to be in the back corner, just playing and singing songs and doing my thing.
Yeah.
I love it. Like it's actually the best job in the world and I get paid pretty good for it. And now I was like, yeah, it's the same skill that I always wanted to use, just slightly differently. And I think my encouragement to anyone watching is find other ways you can use the skill that you know you have.
Yeah.
In a way that might not be what you pictured.
Yeah.
And we talk about a lot as well doing this YouTube channel. It's like whether we have 1,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers, we're still going to sit down and try and make this video in a certain way. It's like the exact same thing. It's the same motions.
I felt the same thing looking back on footage. I used to DJ at F45 gyms. And that's for DJs out there that want gigs. You have to wake up at 5:45 in the morning, but I'd get paid great. And I would go just as bananas in that gym that I would on stage. And it taught me so much. You're so right. It taught me everything. And now I still MC events, I still MC weddings, and I do trivias. And that's just kept my on-stage talking going. When I played that first festival, I was so scared to be on the mic, but I was like, oh, it's just like a trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah. And except to 3,000 people instead of 30.
It's the same. Once your brain can't comprehend that many numbers, I've noticed. Whether it's 100 or 1,000, it's a couple faces at a time is all I can get in this little pea brain here. So,
bro, if you can, especially as a performer, if you can perform well in front of a very small amount of people, you will have a breeze playing in front of the masses.
Yeah.
My hardest gigs have been playing to like 5 people. It's like if a group of friends asked me to sing them a song in a room.
Yeah.
That is so intimidating.
Yeah.
I'll take playing to a festival stage of 20,000 people any day over that.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks it's the other way around. When it's that many people, all you can see is just like blurry faces.
Yeah.
And it feels and sounds amazing and looks amazing. You get all that energy on stage. It's like it's a walk in the park.
You can't tell if someone's having a bad time. They're so far away. And
Legitimately, you can't.
But
if you're in a
you can
room,
hear someone walk away saying this is shit.
yeah, or if you're in a room with 5 people and they start getting on their phone or looking at you, I will go. Yep, all right, that's it.
One phone screen lights up the whole room. It's like, okay.
Oh dear.
I just started applying for my lifeguard job again.
Yeah. Well, you're far away from that, my friend, because you're actually now taking a massive life step, a ginormous one.
Yeah, that's wild.
And you've just recently announced that you're going to move to America indefinitely.
Yeah, man.
Holy dooly.
Go and get a truck.
Talk to us on that,
Dog.
please. That's like, what led up to that decision? Are you scared? Like, what are the emotions?
Yeah, I'm terrified.
Can't you see my cool
no,
I'm scared.
No, it is kind of terrifying. Like, I'm gonna be honest, it's crazy. I love my life here. Like, I've had an amazing experience here and the most beautiful people. I have an amazing community, amazing family, amazing friends, great job. Like I was saying, like, I still really love what I do. I still be making music and loving making music here, but there's opportunities there. I've been to the States the last 8 years in a row. And I've done writing trips in LA most of the time and now Nashville for the last 2 years. And there's just things that came up in conversation that made it feel like there's more opportunity there for me than there is here, which is crazy. And I never thought that would be the case, but that's just how the convos went and the energy that I get. So yeah, I'm doing it, but I'm leaving a lot. Like, I'm sacrificing a lot. I know I'm going to have a great time over there. Like, I think it's going to be fine. But yeah, I'm a bit nervous.
Yeah.
But I'm also confident about what I know and what I am and what I can do. And I know I have something to offer. And so I'm going over not terrified. But I think the scary part is just not knowing what it looks like.
Yeah. And I think with leaps like that and like lots of like big leaps of the same sort, you really don't know until you do it. And if you do it and you don't like it or it's not what you thought it was going to be, you can always come back and try and live somewhere else.
Oh man, I keep reminding myself it's one day to come home.
Yeah.
Just get on a flight and come home. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. And it'll always be here, and that's fine. But I do think there is a point in your life where you realize you're like, the older I'm getting, the more I'm realizing that life is moving fast, and I want to look back at it and be like, I did the thing.
Yeah.
I like had that experience. I had fun. I tried. I don't care whether it was the best decision in the world, everything worked out, or it didn't. I did it.
Yeah.
And I can look back and be like, what an amazing experience in time. And,
yeah, I really tried.
So I feel great about it, but also I'm going over with some stuff. Like, there's conversations that have been had and some opportunities that I'm aware of that I don't have here. And so I'm going in a nice scenario, I guess.
I think the biggest thing about being a creative is maintaining a crazy amount of self-belief to do big things like you're about to do.
Yeah.
And so for you, maintaining that self-belief for 12 years to still be at the point where I'm going to take the biggest risk of my career yet is an immense challenge. Is there tips that you've had to maintain that people can use to maintain their self-belief out there?
Man, that's so hard because self-belief ebbs and flows so much, right?
Yeah,
like anyone that's watching this that's a creative will know. It's like 1 minute you feel like you're the best in the world at what you do, and then like 5 minutes later you're like, I should quit.
Yeah. Dude, I've been driving home and I've been like, I'm so excited to do everything and take on the world, and I get into my room, I'm like, oh my god,
I'm
9 to 5. I just want to go to sleep. I'm not built for this.
I think we all just sign up and become lifeguards. I think that's just I think it's just mentally way easier. The thing that I'll say is, like, you have to practice your craft, right? Like, you gotta, is it the 10,000 hours thing? Do anything for 10,000 hours and you become professional in it. There's that whole thing, practice makes perfect whatever, you get a good skill set and whatever you're after, that raises your chances. And you can get self-belief from knowing that you're good at your skill. But I honestly think majority of it just comes from self-belief as a person. It's not in your craft or your field. Like if you feel confident about who you are as a person, that's going to radiate in what you do. And I think that's like the deeper level of self-confidence.
Yeah.
I think that is really what matters, is like, how do I value myself as a person? Do I have a lot to give others?
Mhm.
Do I have purpose and value? And if you believe that deep down underneath everything that you do, I think that radiates. And I've been watching this other podcast, sorry. But this lady talks, and she's a trained psychologist, and talks about the idea of fame. And she says that fame is just a resource of being able to have a mass audience. And what you actually need is, you don't need a skill set to be famous. You need to be a person that fully believes in themselves so that other people believe in you. Your skill set and your, whatever it is that you do is what are going to keep people there. So like, you building your audience isn't necessarily like, oh, he's so great at just tap dancing. That can be, but like, you need to believe in yourself, and people need to see that in whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And then having a skill set is what keeps people there. And I do think that's real. Like, I know heaps of people that their skill isn't a thing that's on a platform. It might be that they're a great accountant or whatever it is, right? But the way that they hold themselves when they walk in a room is like, that they're good at what they do. That they believe in themselves, and maybe they're super lovely and charismatic and good with people, but they hold themselves in a way, or they speak in a particular way, and you're like, they're good at whatever they do. And then you find out what they do, and you're like, oh, maybe I should make them my accountant. You know what I mean? And I think the deeper level is personal belief.
That's so real.
Yeah,
I
it's
relate
crazy.
to that a lot
That
myself.
got deep.
Yeah.
I've
I've been doing this film thing for so many years now, and I feel like I can't convince someone that I'm a filmmaker, but I'm just like, oh, maybe I am not convincing myself.
Yeah.
That I am actually,
because you don't believe it.
That I believe I'm good enough.
I think what you said as well, the big part is the doing of the craft is so important. The output side, I think, is really specific to being a creative. But in order to really believe in yourself that you can be a creative, you need to be putting things out as a creative.
So
true.
true.
You taught me that with your output with music. You just continually keep putting out music, and I'm like, oh, how's that one going? You're like, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm on to the next song.
Trying to finish the next one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny.
That's awesome.
I think that helps. I think both need to exist.
Yeah.
I think your output and what you do. Everyone says if you do a thing enough times, you become a person that does that thing. Like if you make films enough consistently, you're a filmmaker, whether you like it or not. That's just what you do. I'm a songwriter and an artist because I keep putting songs out. I don't have a choice. That's what it makes me. And then if I believe in myself too, and I keep doing that, well, then I'm a songwriter artist that is confident. And all of a sudden, like, oh, you could be big.
Yeah.
Oh, you could have a following. You could make a career out of this. I think both those things just need to exist. It's kind of not that difficult, but it's really hard to do.
But yeah, there are traps like that you can fall in yourself.
Huge. Yeah.
And I think another trap is, I know a lot of people who work 9 to 5, have big dreams, have big thoughts about they want to do, but they never manage to get themselves to doing it because it's just kind of like work, home, make food, sleep, especially renters who are in like individuals and doing everything for themselves.
So true.
Do you have any tips on breaking out of that and just trying to like taking that leap in particular? Because it's like
the leap of going into what you do full time.
Yeah, well, giving yourself time for the things that you love. So it's not, you're kind of giving up the 40-hour work week to try something different. Because I think with that leap, it's harder to backtrack and get a full-time job again.
That's so true. I really don't know because people do it differently. There's the Ed Sheeran story, which is he left home at, I think it was 14 or 15. Left, bought his guitar, what does he call it? A rucksack or something, a backpack,
yeah,
and some CDs, and went out and just started busking and like used the money to get hostels and then couch surf with people that he met on the street. Like literally went all in. Wow. Absolutely no job, no money, did that. And then apparently he said he emailed every venue in London and said, I'll play for free at any of your venues if you let me take tips. And like out of few hundred or something, like 50 got back and booked him. And then he just did that. He just did performances at bars and venues and put a hat out. And that's how he did it. And then apparently Jamie Foxx was in the audience one time and then came up to him and was like, I want you to come and play at my private party in LA. And so he saved up a bunch of money, bought a one-way ticket to LA, went, did the party, and then met a bunch of famous people, and they introed him to record labels. And he signed a deal with Warner. That's his story. I'm pretty sure in a nutshell. It's probably more complicated than that.
When you are able to expose yourself to the right people who can kind of bring you up, kind of like you getting on Triple J's map. It's like you're not going to expose yourself to anyone if you don't do the thing at all. And I found as soon as I started telling people that I was making films, all of a sudden people come to me like, oh, I know this person, or I've got this going. And it just makes it really, really can bring you up once you just like tell the world and get out there in any sort of way, any sort of capacity.
I think so. So there's that you can go all in, right? You do the all in. I think that's terrifying. And I think that there's also like some insanity to that, where like there's a possibility that you could just end up on the street, or like being a 14 or 15-year-old living on the street in London is probably not ideal either.
No.
So, but there is a way to do it balanced that doesn't sacrifice too much either. Like you could just work 1 day a week or 2 days a week just to cover your bills.
Yeah.
Do something, and then the rest of the time you better be grinding. Like you got to do the 5 days of making films or writing songs every day. Then you're not screwed, you know? And I think that's kind of the way that I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll play 1, maybe 2 private events a week, maybe, sometimes not. And then the rest of the days I'm fully trying to become the best songwriter I can be.
Yeah.
You know, and get better vocally and get better producing and all that sort of stuff. And so that works for me right now. I can sustain myself. Very privileged position to be in. But I do think there's ways to do that. And I think you just got to be willing to do that. I didn't think I was going to be playing people's weddings. You know, that's not what I pictured or thought would be in store for me. But I actually love it. It makes me so much better at what I do. And it allows me so much freedom to get better at my craft. So yeah, I think you got to figure out what kind of person you are. And if you're as rogue as Ed Sheeran, by all means, it worked out for him.
America's happening. Dylan J's not slowing down at all.
No, speeding up.
Mate.
Gosh.
We're very excited for your new endeavors. We're going to miss you.
Thanks, man.
Truly very inspiring that
man.
you've taken the leap and been at it for so many years.
Thanks,
Is that testament that you have to just take however many years you think it's going to take and double it and then add some, because that's how long it's going to take. And you're just hammering away. It's very inspiring, and you definitely inspired me. So
thanks, bro.
Yeah. We love you. We appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for coming,
Very kind.
man. It's been great to see you.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to do it again. We'll do it again when I'm back.
Oh, you also have a show coming up. Wait, this will be out before then. Tell them about your show.
Will it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 100%. Sick. 21st of June in Melbourne. Last show. Come. I'll sing songs. No, it'll be super fun. I'm really excited. It'll be a fun way to go out and I'm pumped.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you all for watching. Make sure to tell someone that you love them today.
Bye.
Bye.
So beautiful.